It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakha Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Anarchy in America. We're being gunned down like dogs in the street. So basically, for those who don't know what anarchy is, this website right here gives you the proper definition for it. You know, as you can see up here, this is anarchy. And this is from google.com. Anarchy is a society without a government. It may also refer to a society or a group of people that entirely rejects a set hierarchy. Right, because a hierarchy is basically, how do I put it? It is like different levels within a government. Now, at the top of the hierarchy, you have the king, and then below the king you have your princess, and then below the princess you have your House of Representatives, you have your Congress, you have your Senate, and then below them you have your judicial system, and below them you have the police force. So just to give you an idea of what a hierarchy is, it's like different levels to something. You know, even amongst the animal kingdom, there is a hierarchy. Okay, the top animal on the planet is the lion. You know, it's fierce, strong, fast, ferocious. You know, there's a reason why the lion is called the king of the jungle. You know, and then below the lion you have his cousins, which are the tigers, you know, this, that, fourth, and the other. You know, in the seas, the oceans, you know, you have Leviathan as the top sea creature. You know, but anyways, now you have a good idea of what a hierarchy is. You know, even amongst this truth. This truth, there is a hierarchy. Okay, you have Yahweh, and then below Yahweh, you have Yahweh Shai, and then below Yahweh Shai, you have King David, and then below King David, you have the 12 apostles, and then below the 12 apostles, you have the 144,000 body, and then below the 144,000, you have the rest of the multitude, the great multitude, which are Israelites, and then below them you have the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. So even amongst this truth, there is a hierarchy. You know. So in this case, you know, people are rejecting the government of the United States of America. They are rejecting the government, and it really has a lot to do with unrighteous dealings, you know, all kinds of unrighteous decrees being passed. So an anarchy starts with people who refuse to accept their government. That's how an anarchy starts. It starts from people who refuse to accept their government. So if you come over here, right, it says things are falling apart. How much longer can we sustain the fiction that we live in a constitutional republic? I cannot say, but anarchy is being loosed upon the nation. Which out of an anarchy, what do you get? You get disorder and chaos, such as riots, protests, civil unrest. We are witnessing the unraveling of the American dream, one injustice at a time. You know, day after day, the government crimes against citizenry grow more egregious, more treacherous, and more tragic. And day after day, the American people wake up a little more to the grim realization that they have become captives in a prison of their own making. Right, because a lot of you people out there, you sacrificed your own so-called freedom for more security and protection from your government. And that really started during 9/11. Okay, when those towers came down by the U.S. government, which was a demolition, by the way, had nothing to do with no planes. You know, the planes were all CGI. Okay, a lot of people who were living in that area or who was around that area at that time said they didn't see any planes. All they heard was sudden explosions and the buildings collapsing. But anyways, after 9/11, you know, a lot of people went into a panic. You know, they wanted more security, more protection from the government. So what happened? The government basically started setting up cameras in these different shops, these different stores, these different department stores on the street corners. Now you got cameras everywhere. But you see, that's what happens when you allow your government to basically take control of what you want. So let's scroll down here, right? Let's have a look at some of these things. Okay, so here we have Justine Damon is dead, right? The 40-year-old yoga instructor was shot and killed by Minneapolis police, allegedly because they were startled by a loud noise in the vicinity just as she approached their patrol car. Damon, clad in pajamas, had called 911 to report a possible assault in her neighborhood. Okay, Ismael Lopez is dead. The 41-year-old auto mechanic was shot and killed by Mississippi police. Okay, who went to the wrong address looking for a suspect in connection with an aggravated domestic violence case. Police also shot the man's dog, which had raced out of the house ahead of him. And you know what? This is all judgment coming from on high. This is judgment coming from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. This is all judgment. You know? These deaths are not by coincidence. Okay? The scriptures tell you that the issues of death come from the Lord. So whatever these people did, man, the Lord was not pleased with it, so he took them out. Okay? The sword of the Lord is ultimately Esau's military and his police force. Okay? Mary Knowlton is dead. The 73-year-old retired librarian was shot and killed by Florida police during a don't shoot role playing scenario when police inadvertently used a loaded gun intended for training. Andrew Scott is dead. Although the 26-year-old homeowner had committed no crime and never fired a single bullet or lifted his firearm against the police, he was gunned down by Florida police who were investigating a speeding incident by engaging a middle of the night knock and talk in Scott's apartment complex. So you can see where all this is going, man. This kingdom is falling. Oh, and it's literally falling apart. And who's the one responsible for it? The Lord is. Okay, it's all judgment coming from the Lord. Okay, Richard Ferretti is dead. The 52-year-old chef was shot and killed by Philadelphia police while trying to find a parking spot. Police had been alerted to investigate a purple Dodge Caravan that was driving suspiciously through the neighborhood. Okay, Carlina Lyles is dead. The pregnant 30-year-old mother of 4 had called the police to report a stolen Xbox video game unit. She was shot and killed by Seattle police after they arrived at her home to find her holding a knife. So, yeah, man. But what what you people don't understand? This country is becoming a dictatorship type of country. Okay? So, I mean, I would say that anarchy has little to do with this kind of scenario, but it's more like this country is becoming a dictator country. Which a dictatorship is ultimately when the president or the government and enforces their laws on the people by the use of military force or police force. And that's what we're seeing here. What we're seeing is acts of dictatorship. Okay? So what I would like to do, and please excuse Microsoft Edge here, it's acting slow. Let's go to the blueletterbible.org. No, just give it a moment. Satan is messing with my laptop right now. Excuse me. So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51. And let's go to 5. No, we're going to start at verse 6 here. Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 6, it says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." And that's what the Lord is doing. This whole country is falling apart because the Lord is rendering unto this country a recompense. It is the vengeance of the Lord. What? Not just for the controversy of Zion, but also for what these Edomites did to us during the time of slavery. How there was a massive bloodshed of the Israelites over here on the soils of America. So now we're living in a time where the Lord is taking vengeance on this country. You see? Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. What is that wine? That wine is a representation of America's philosophy. Doest thou wilt. America's democracy, which is backed by that Aleister Crowley doctrine, doest thou wilt, shall be the will of the law. That's the wine. And wherever America goes with this philosophy, that country ends up morally destroyed. Therefore, the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. But there is no reparations for this country. You know, as time passes on, things are not going to get better here in the United States of America. Things are only going to get worse. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Therefore, forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So it said that we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. You see that? So there is no reparations for the government of this country. There is no reparations for the financial system of this country. There is no reparations for the economy of this country. This place will continue to crumble and fall as time passes on. Now let's go to the book of Isaiah 47, verse 1. Okay, it says, come down and sit in the dust. That dust represents confusion. Also, when we look up that word dust, I believe it also means ashes, because this country is going to be ashes during the nuclear destruction. Okay, so that word there is Yorad. Yorad. And it says to go down, descend, decline. Okay, and that's what this country is heading into. This country is declining. It is sinking down the drain. It says to go, come down, to sink, be prostrated, to bring down. Okay, let's see what's down here. I just want to read some of these. So that's pretty much it for Usabes, sit in the dust. So let's look up this word dust here. Dust. And what do we see? Ipar. And it says dry earth, dust, powder, ashes. Because during the nuclear destruction, this place is going to be ashes. Okay? It's going to be rubbish. Okay? Debris, dry or loose earth, which that's what a desert is. A desert is a dry or a loose earth. So Isaiah 47:1 is also talking about the nuclear destruction of this wicked country known as Babylon. So Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. A throne is a symbol of rulership. And the rulership is being taken away from Esau, Edom. Okay, scriptures speak about because of unrighteous dealings and things done by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So the rulership of this country is being taken from the hands of Esau, Edom. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So this country is no longer being called tender and delicate, which anything that's tender and delicate is a place of comfort. So a place of comfort is being taken from this country. And now you people are being gunned down in the streets for silly little reasons. Which is all proof that this country is on a decline. Okay? Furthermore, if we go to Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, it says this. Give it a second here. Revelation chapter 12 verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Why? For the devil, who's the devil? The Edomites. That's starting with the so-called elite, the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. Okay? But in this case, the devil is really talking about the so-called elites. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So the so-called elites, they know they have but a short time to rule. So now they're even to pour out their wrath upon their own people, just to get to our people. And you see it in this article here. You know, hey, get ready, because that wrath is getting ready to come down the pipe. With that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.